Hello and welcome to the Augustana family. My name is Joni Krueger and I'm the registrar here at Augustana. It is my pleasure to spend a little bit of time talking with you about your academic journey here, focusing on your path to one of my favorite days of the year, graduation. Last year, my kids and I went on a fantastic 2-week adventure. My daughter bought a necklace as a souvenir that said, "Enjoy the journey." That is my encouragement to you today. Make sure to not just go through the motions of being a college student at Augustana, but really enjoy the journey. Enjoy every moment as you go. Please make sure to have your Sophia Core checklist sheet in front of you to reference as I talk. If you need to, pause, go grab it, and then come back. Note the letters in parentheses in each box. For example, at the top, LT for literature, you will note that when you see your schedule later, those same letters will appear behind the course titles. This is going to be an important tool for you as you map out which courses you are completing for the core. When you have your advising appointment, a few very important things you need to know. Parents, this is your child's time to shine. Please allow your son or daughter to have this conversation with their advisor. Students, you need to own your schedule. As you look at the checklist that we will go over shortly, and you look at your schedule, if anything looks at all familiar, like something you took for dual credit or AP, speak up. In some instances, you might need that class for your major, but in others, we might be able to drop that class and have you take something else. As an important side note, if you have not already had your transcript from that college or university sent to us, please make sure to do that today. I'm also going to point out that since we have pre-registered all of our incoming students, the remaining course availability is not overly abundant, so please be patient with us as we try to craft your ideal schedule. Okay, on to the core. I'm going to go quickly through this, so hold on, the ride is about to begin. But as a side note, in October, as part of your first year seminar class, we will go over this in greater detail, along with a fantastic tool we have called Academic Planner. So don't feel like you need to know all of the details right now. We are just doing this as an overview so that you have a better understanding of your schedule that you'll be taking this fall. One thing you should know as well is that this is what I like to call a working document. Our faculty continually work to submit new courses for the core, so you'll be informed while you're a student here of any new additions. Okay, let's start at the top. The first blank has 8 requirements, of which you need to take 6. You will have the opportunity to work with an academic advisor to determine which of these you need and then decide which you might like to opt out of. The areas in this section are quite self-explanatory: literature, arts, non-Western, Western tradition, U.S. experience. None of this really requires much explanation. Well-being, on the other hand, let me define that a little bit. You will need a 3-credit-hour course to complete this requirement. If you take one of our 2-credit courses that's listed there, you will also need to take a PE 100 level activity to finish out that 3rd credit. I do want to put in a quick plug for those PE 100 level classes. While many of you might not need these for your core requirements, they are a great way to learn a new activity and a great excuse to stay active. Not to mention a not too difficult A. I know of a recent graduate who told me that she took a different PE 100 class every single semester just as a reason to stay active. For the scientific intersections, if you're a nursing, exercise science, biology, or chemistry major, one of the courses that's required for your major will satisfy this requirement. Anthropology, history, and psychology majors have a course that will satisfy an elective if you choose to take that course. Other majors, you can just pick the one that sounds the most interesting to you and fits in your schedule. We typically have students take their scientific intersections course later, like around your junior or senior year. For religious traditions and theological conversations, these are 200-level religion courses with a few additional options for you to choose from as well. So that wraps up the Take 6 of 8 area. The next group, there are 6 areas with 9 total classes. You will take all of these. First year seminar, there are 2 classes. All of you are registered for FYS 110 this fall. These are small seminar classes with the focus on written and oral communication, ethical reasoning, critical thinking, as well as an orientation component. The second course you'll take in the spring is a 1-credit FYS 112 course that's focused on vocation. There will be more details about this in October. For natural science, it's a lab course. Mathematics, well, take math. Christian tradition, religion 110, or if you're a Civitas student, Civitas 110. Social science, there are 2 courses required for this requirement. For the languages, if you are planning to change which language you are taking from what you took in high school, you do not need to take the language placement exam. But if you're not sure, or if you want to continue in the same language, if you have not already taken that language placement exam, please be sure to get that done as soon as possible. We need you to take that in order for us to make sure you are placed in the right level. Don't worry about studying for this. We really just want to know where you're at today. If you do test into the intermediate level of a language, you have 2 options. One is to take that course and continue on in the language, or you can contact Mo Hurley from the admission office, arranging for a test out of that 200 level. What you'll do is you'll meet one-on-one virtually with one of the advisors in the language department just to confirm your placement. This next section, there are 3 components that you will need to satisfy. There are 2 W courses, which means writing intensive. Most students satisfy this by taking English 200, which is both a literature requirement and a W course. Then the second course they take in their major. Those of you who took English composition for dual credit, that will satisfy one of your W courses. The C component is for communication. Throughout the fall semester, our faculty are going to develop a list of which courses will satisfy this requirement. You can assume that communication courses, such as Com 250, which also satisfies well-being, will count. There will be more details to come on this in October. The E component is for ethical reasoning, and again, these will be fully developed throughout the fall. The religious tradition 200 level courses are currently slated to satisfy this, as well as many other courses. Now, that was my fast snapshot of the core curriculum. In addition to the courses that you will take for the core, you will complete a major. Every major has typically at least 1 or maybe even 2 courses in the core, so you can kind of get a sense of what that major will require. And all students must complete 124 hours to graduate. Electives, you will need them. So it's okay to take something that doesn't check off a box. However, if you're a box checker, just grab that sheet and write elective on there about 4 or 5 times and you'll be good to go. While you're at it, go ahead and write study abroad. That would be a good box to check too. In order to get to 124 credit hours, most students take 14 credit hours each fall and spring and 3 credit hours every January. If you follow this model, you'll reach 124. Now, if you're bringing in any pre-matriculation, dual credit, AP credit, those sorts of things, you can feel completely comfortable taking less than 14 hours. Just keep in mind, if you're not bringing in any credit, for each term that you're less than 14, you'll just need to make up for it by having 15 or 16 hours in a different term. Student athletes, many of you are here for 4.5 or even 5 years as a plan, and so it's completely okay to take less than 14 hours in a term. Let's just step back a moment and offer a little more explanation about what your schedule will look like. A course that is 3 credit hours means that you will spend 3 hours a week in class or online in class-specific work. If you are taking 15 credit hours, that means you're in class for about 15 hours a week. Typically, the rule of thumb for success is to plan on studying for 2 hours for every hour you're in class. Or for a 15 credit hour schedule, you would study, which means reading your textbook, writing papers, studying for tests, reviewing your notes, participating in online discussion forums, for about 30 hours a week. 15 plus 30 equals 45 hours a week. In some ways, that sounds like a lot of time, but think of it like this. If you were to start studying or go to class Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. and continue studying or going to class until 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, that's 45 hours. Now, I know that's not going to happen, but you can certainly build in good quality study time while preserving a lot of time in your schedule for those part-time jobs and, of course, fun. I would encourage you to create a handwritten schedule as soon as you get your final class schedule, just to build in some of those study blocks and see what you have left for some of those fun and activities. As you are aware, Augustana has made a commitment to bring students back to campus this fall. A big part of that is to keep our students, faculty, and staff as safe as possible. We are working very, very hard to define the details of what this is going to look like. We have, for example, set up our classrooms with a good 6-foot radius around each student, as well as the faculty members. This does mean some of our classes might need to spend some of their time in online discussion groups and then some face-to-face. There will be other classes that can meet fully face-to-face as a regular schedule. There will be some things that will be expected and really required of students in order to be safe. Some of those things might include, if you're not feeling well, if you have a fever, if you have a cough, that sort of thing, just stay home and watch the class online. You can consider wearing a mask to class. Some classes might require this. And you can exercise proper hand washing. We have changed our normal schedule to allow for 20 minutes between classes instead of 10. This will allow for us to clean the classrooms between students coming and going. Many other important details are being worked on, and we appreciate your patience and grace as we work hard to make plans to deal with the things that we are still a little bit unknown about. There are a lot of details that need attention, and we are doing our best to try to get you the best schedules and the best coursework possible. Thank you so much for your attention, and I am so excited to see you on campus this fall. Have a great day.